Actually, what I would like to share with you is some of the comments from the jury's work, because I think it could be interesting and inspiring for you to hear what we actually talked about. Because we, of course, was really happy about being a part of this jury, but we could see that there was it was a very divided submission of material that was in the competition. So we had obvious some fantastic winners that we really liked, but on the other hand, we had a lot of really bad work that could have been much better. And we talked about that and we couldn't understand why. But that's some of the points. What I would like to do is share 10 comments or quotes that I wrote down during the 2 days of judging. Just so it could be fun to hear what we was actually talking about. Like the picture of the year with the 92-year-old birthday. One said, "It's like reading a poem. You can interpret it in so many different ways." And that's what I actually like about photography, that each of us see one image, but we feel different things. And that's the quality about it. No matter if you're young or old or man or woman, that's what photography, good photography, is capable of. And I really like that. Quote one number 2. "Wow, here's actually a story and a photographer with a visual idea." The problem was that many of the stories that were submitted actually had no idea. It might be good photographers did a nice job, but there was no really idea. So a basic advice for any photographer could be, what is this story actually about? And if you can't answer that question, then you have to rethink about how to approach the story. It's easy to see the winner images. They have something, they have a big, strong story within them. Quote number 3. "Wow, this story is expanding the vocabulary of the photographic language." Just imagine that the people in the jury talking about photography every day, they're so professional and so skilled, and I was so inspired just by listening to them. We're talking about that some of the submitted material actually expanded their way of seeing photography. I think you can't aim higher than that, then professional photographers actually get inspired, and we were really happy about that. Quote number 4, "Oh, so sad that the photographer left before the magical moment." There were several examples of images that we saw where the idea was actually good and the image was actually good, but we just needed like 20% more to have a winning image. And it seemed like there was some kind of impatience in the photographer, so they kind of just left the story because they were all done. So please come early and stay late, because it's often there that the story is best told. Quote number 5. "Whoa, the jury shouldn't do the editing. That's the photographer's job." And I think it might be the biggest problem at all of what we saw submitted in this contest, that there was a lack of editing skills, and it was really bad because some of the stories could have been much better. I think that if you dare to share your failures, I know there's a risk that you will see how weak your material is, but starting a discussion and a debate also create a language about photography and about your own story. And when you share your material, your raw material, this talk about photography will sharpen your story in a way that will be visible when you enter a contest. Number 5, "Oh, too much wide angle. It's a deformation of reality, and it makes the photographer lazy." I really like that quote because I hate wide angle. Because what happens when you use wide angle? Everything goes like this, goes stiff, and the deformation of reality is not a very good way of presenting reality. So I just encourage photographers to, get rid of your wide angle and try to show the world as it actually, how we see it with the eye, our human eye. Number 7, "Wow, this looks like a painting." And just imagine that you have this feeling that you suddenly open another visual world, that we had a feeling that this could be something else. I like that as well. Number 8, it was again, editing is the general problem. So editing was one of the things that we talked a lot about. Number 9, now due to the COVID pandemic, there was lack of access. But you still have to come up with something. And I'm really happy that we saw 3 very different examples, from Anna's superheroes, picture of the year with the birthday, to this dark black and white series from the hospital. It shows the variety of stories, and we need all these small elements to actually tell the whole story of the pandemic. If we just put our light on the hospital, it would be a narrow-minded storytelling. But putting all these different stories together actually show what this pandemic have done to us. Number 10, there were 3 categories where there was no winners. That's not good enough. I know that art and sport has been really difficult for the last 1.5 years. But the last category was nature. And I'm really sad that there was no winning image in the nature category, because this is what especially young people talk about. This is what we should all talk about, and it's right outside our front door. So please think about doing stories that are simply told with simple access, but important stories that we need to tell. And not giving any award in the nature category is really sad, I think. But we just need to go out there again. Just don't take pictures of what you see. You should take pictures of what you hear and what you smell, because that's the kind of feelings that you can pass on to the readers of the image. If you just make a registration of what you see, it will be a more flat interpretation of the image. But if you close your eyes and you get the smell of curry from the nearby restaurant, or you can hear the sound of a machine working in the background, or something like a kid playing or talking. If you can take this kind of senses and put it into the image, then you will activate the same senses at the reader of the image. It's not only a privilege to be a photographer, it's an obligation. And we need to show the world as it is, when it's good and when it's bad, or when people dress out as superheroes or are dying in our hospitals. It's important with these different approaches. And when I travel around the world and talk with newspapers and the magazines and photographers, and they tell that they shut down photo departments and that it's very, very difficult to be a freelance photographer. It's not only a problem for the photographer himself or herself, it's a problem for society. Because if we end up just sharing images made by cell phones, made by journalists out there somewhere, there'll be a lack not only of time while we're here, but in the common archive of the world. So what we base our opinions on and what we base democracy on is what we can share and understand. And the amazing thing about photography is, just by showing a birthday with a 92-year-old lady, we all create a feeling, but we also create a spot image of the time that we are living in. It is so, so, so important. This picture couldn't have been taken 2 years ago, because the world looked different at that time. And we can't force it, and we might know what will happen, but we can't create the future in any way. It is so important that photographers are helped, that the photo departments are kept, and then we share these stories together. I would like to start a small revolution here in Portugal. I know it's not possible, but it would be nice that we could put light on the importance of press photography. And I'm so happy that we're here together, celebrating some really amazing winners today because they're really amazing, and they it's an honor to be here to honor you all. So thank you for that, and go out and take some pictures. Yeah.